Ladies and gents, what is up? Welcome back to World of Tanks Top 10, episode number 2. First of all, let me know what you think about this new intro for this series. I think it turned out to be pretty sexy, or what you think, and also let me know what you think about those transition numbers between different places. But anyways, this is my second episode in this series, and as you remember, in my previous episode I asked from you guys what kind of top 10 you would like to see next. And a lot of you wanted to see the highest DPM vehicles in this game. So my topic today is going to be top 10 tanks with the highest average damage per minute in World of Tanks. And in this episode I am going to line up all those tanks while they are using standard rounds. No premium or HE rounds allowed. As you know, you are going to be the ones who are dictating what I'm going to do next. So, same today, please let me know what you would like to see in the future. And if you see your topic already in the comment, click the upvote button on that comment, because how I'm going to do that is I am going to pick one comment, aka topic with the highest amount of upvotes, or the most frequent comment with the same topic. Yeah, help me out over here, dictate me what I'm going to do next. Okay, all that out of the way, I simply had to say all that, hopefully you guys understand. Now let's focus on our today's main topic, which is top 10 tanks with the highest average damage per minute in World of Tanks. In this list I have tanks that we have in the game at the moment. I am not going to talk about tanks that we had in the game or about future tanks, because nobody knows, even Wargaming doesn't know what kind of specs are going to be final specs for our future tanks. So only tanks that we have in the game at the moment. And I am going to line up DPM by raw gun stats, without counting crew, equipment and consumable boosts like Brothers in Arms, Rannar, vent, food and so on. Whatever equipment can boost your DPM, I am not going to use it. I am using raw gun stats, a raw DPM value of the tank, just to get the best and most accurate result, in my opinion, what one tank is capable of doing without boosting anything, because with boosts all those numbers are going to be even bigger on every single tank. And the reason why I decided to use only standard ammunition type is because it gives me the best and most realistic result, doesn't it? So now, when you know the rules, I believe we can get going. Let's start from the 10th place. And from here we can actually find two tanks, two completely different tanks with the exact same DPM. First tank is tier 10 medium tank STB-1 from Japan. 105mm rifled gun, average damage per minute 2925. A really good all-around medium tank in my opinion, with minus 10 degrees of gun depression. Gun handling stats are kinda meh, but all in all STB-1 a really awesome tank with close to 3000 average damage per minute. And the second tank with the exact same DPM is tier 7 premium tank destroyer. Devastating SU-122-44 with 122mm D25S boomstick. Average damage with one shot 390, penetration 175, and reload time is exactly the same, 8-second reload time. And this tank is definitely one of the most fun tanks to play with in World of Tanks. Especially in tier 7 position, this TD moves around like a medium tank. But believe it or not, SU-122-44 doesn't have the highest DPM in tier 7 position. Let's move on. And from here we can find good old tier 9 German DD Jagdtiger, or Jagdtiger, with 12.8 cm back L66 boomstick. DPM 2947, average damage per minute. Average damage with one shot 560, penetration 276, and reload time 11.4 second reload time. Minus 7.5 degrees of gun depression. Jagdtiger is one of the oldest tanks in World of Tanks, and after all those new tanks in the game, all those new tier 10 DDs and so on, it feels kinda old, but DPM is still there. from the 7th place we can find first Soviet Tier 10 Special Medium Tank Clan Wars Reward Tank Object 907 100mm D54 TS gun, DPM 2954 average damage per minute. Average damage with one shot 320, penetration 264, reload time 6.5 second reload time, -5 degrees of gun depression. Now, we all know how good Soviet medium tanks are, and this tank is one of the best, but it is special. To be able to get it, you have to play Clan Wars campaigns, and you have to win this tank, or you have to pick this tank for yourself. But, as you can expect, this is not the only Soviet medium tank in this list. What do you think? What is going to be even higher? And now we are crossing 3000 average damage per minute. Over here, once again, we have two different tanks in one position with the exact same DPM. First tank is Tier 9 DD from Soviet Russia, Su-12254 with 122mm M62 C2 gun, average DPM exactly 3000. Average damage with one shot 440, average penetration 258, reload time 8.80 seconds, and -4 degrees of gun depression, exactly the same as on Su-12244. So I guess this is kind of standard gun depression for Soviet DDs. But as much as I have heard from you guys, this is not the best Tier 9 DD, despite having really awesome DPM. I cannot say my own opinion because I do not have this tank, but this is just what I have heard from you. Why you do not like it? It has one of the best DPMs in the game. Yeah. But as I said, we have two tanks in the exact same position, and the second tank with 3000 average damage per minute is once again from Soviet Russia, Tier 10 medium tank Object 430, 100mm U8 TS gun. Average damage with one shot 320 and penetration 264, exactly the same as on Object 907. Reload time is 0.1 second faster, 6.4 second reload time, and this is where the TPM difference comes in. 0.1 second faster reload time and you have better DPM. Who would have known that, right? But 430, definitely one of the best medium tanks in the game, and DPM says exactly that. And from the 6th place we can find our first British tank, Conway Tier 9 TD with 120mm AT gun L1A1, DPM 3077 average damage per minute. Average damage with one shot 400, penetration 259 and reload time 7.8 seconds. So 400 alpha damage with this kind of reload time equals pretty nice glass cannon indeed, because this tank doesn't have any armor whatsoever. And from the 5th place we can find yet another Soviet tank. Who would have known, right? This time Tier 10 DD, Object 263 with 130mm S70A gun. Average damage per minute 3084. Average damage with one shot 550, pretty awkward average damage, and 290 penetration. Penetration is kinda nasty. Reload time 10.70 seconds. Yes, this is kinda long compared to all the rest of the tanks that we have covered so far, but combined with that awkward amount of average damage with one shot, 550 equals a lot of average damage per minute. And once again, -4 degrees of gun depression. So seems like -4 degrees is kinda standard for Soviet DDs, but this tank can be one amazing troll tank. It is extremely hard tank to deal with, especially from the distance or when it is face hugging you. When you have to snipe this tank, when it is sniping you and you have to snipe back. Good luck trying to penetrate it from the front. You have to be lucky to be able to do that. And when it is face hugging you, it is even more annoying. So yeah, 5th place, Object 263. And we are close to the top 3 already, but first, from the 4th place, we can find our one and only heavy tank in this list. One and only heavy tank and autoloader in this list. D57 Heavy, Tier 10 heavy tank from USA. Average damage per minute 3097 damage per minute from 120mm T179 gun. Alpha damage 400, penetration 258 and reload time 25 seconds. D57 Heavy has 4 shells in one magazine. Minus 8 degrees of gun depression. So yeah, D57 Heavy in this list, go figure. But now let's move on into the top 3. So welcome to the top 3. Top 3 highest average damage per minute tanks in World of Tanks with standard ammunition. And from the third place, once again we can find 2 different tanks. Actually 2 tanks that are almost the same, from the same nation, from the same tier, with the exact same gun. ISU-122S and SU-152. ISU-122S is actually Tier 7 premium tank. Tier 7 premium tank from Soviet Russia is in the third place in the list of the highest DPM tanks in World of Tanks with standard ammunition. 3162 average damage per minute from 122mm T25S Mod 1944 gun. Average damage with one shot 390, 175 penetration and reload time 7.4 seconds. Minus 6 degrees of gun depression on both tanks, on ISU-122S and on SU-152, which is standard Tier 7 Soviet DD. Yeah, a lot of Soviet tanks in this list. But let's move on. Let's see which tank is in the second place. And the second place goes to STRV-103B from Sweden, our newest Tier 10 DD in this game. DPM 3343, almost 200 higher DPM than in the third place. So pretty crazy difference. 10.5 cm cannon STRV-103 L62. Alpha damage 390, penetration 308 mm of penetration. Reload time 7 seconds. This tank is special for its siege mode, and in the siege mode this tank is just devastating, epic camo value, amazing DPM with amazing penetration. This tank is the best sniper in this game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the end. The tank with the highest DPM in this game with standard ammunition is Tier 9 British DD Tortoise or Tortoise, or however you have to pronounce it. You know what I'm talking about. This tank has the highest DPM in this game with standard ammunition. 3380 average damage per minute from 120mm 80 gun L1A1. Exactly the same gun as on Conway, but with a little bit better reload time. 7.10 second reload time. 400 average damage, 259 penetration. And with minus 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really good. So this tank is not fast. This tank is not epically armored. This tank is all about that gun. All about that epic DPM. 3380 average damage per minute. You can actually boost it over 4000 with all the equipment and boosts and crew skills and so on. You can actually boost this DPM over 4000 damage per minute. Crazy. So, ladies and gents, this was top 10 tanks with the highest DPM in this game with standard ammunition. You have to keep in mind that when I'm going to include premium rounds and HE rounds, the score, the result is going to be a little bit different because we have some crazy HE guns, and HE usually has higher damage. But you are not able to penetrate targets with HE ammunition that often, that easily. So this is why I decided to use standard ammunition. And standard ammunition is affordable for every single one of you, or should be affordable for every single one of you. Anyways, let me know what you would like to see next, and let me know what you think about this episode and this series. I hope you enjoyed. Take care and bye.